Welcome to Google Apps for Education. This is a class that will help educators learn how Google Apps could be good for their classroom. On the welcome page we have the course syllabus, so I'm going to click on that. It has all the pertinent information. The textbook is a website that has a lot of different videos that will help the user understand Google Apps. We've got our learning outcomes, and I'll go through each of these as we go through this tour of it. It's a fully online class. We'll have discussion boards, we'll have assignments, and then a final portfolio, which is 50% of the grade. And this is a pretty basic syllabus. At the end here, we talk about the course calendar, when everything's due, when the objective is covered, and then how much percent of grade that it is. It also, for the assignments, gives a pertinent website that would give information about the different techniques that I'm asking them to use, and then of course the final portfolio. So we go back to the Blackboard and we'll go to the modules. There are 7 modules. This would be a 7-week class, and I'm going to go through each module and talk about them, but just for the basic setup, the module has a discussion, 1 or 2 assignments, and the lecture. And each module is set up very similarly. Module 1, Introduction to Google Drive and File Organization. So when I click on this, it starts off with the discussion board, and this one is just an introduction and your background and training. Then I'm having them take a survey. I set this survey up on Google Forms so that they could see kind of what a Google form would look like, because later on in the class they do need to build their own Google form. So this kind of just goes through what their familiarity with Google is so that I can update or make any changes to the lessons as we go. So they'll submit that. And then we have the lecture. And the lecture, this one goes to a separate website where they'll just click and it'll show them how to organize the Drive folders. And then the particular assignment, I'm having the students create a Google Drive account or a Google account and then log on to Drive. They'll create a folder called Google Apps for Education, and inside this folder there will be 7 folders, modules 1 through 7, and they'll be turning in assignments into these folders. Just a couple of different things that they can do with Drive I want them to try, but then the last thing is to share the folder with the teacher, and that way I can go in and check anything that they've been doing, and that's one of the great things about Google Drive. So that's module 1. Module 2, a similar setup. We've got the objective. They're going to create a Google Doc and a Google Slide, and then some of the tasks that they'll be required to complete. So we click on module 2. Again, the discussion. Describe 3 ways that you could use Google Docs in your training by day 3. And this click to launch in Blackboard, when you click here, it takes you to the discussion board where they'll go to module 2. And they'll open it, and then they'll create a thread. And so that's the way that they'll create the discussion for that class, and then once a thread is created, they can reply to them as well. So back to the module. For this Google lecture, they'll have to download it just by clicking here, and it will take them through the Google Docs lecture.
Okay, so Module 2, we are going to do 2 assignments in this module, one with Google Docs and one with Google Sheets. So we'll start with the Google Docs assignment. Yet last module you set up your Google Drive account and you set up your folders that we'll use for this class. So you'll see your Google Drive for Education Wiggly, Tamra file. So if we double click on that, you'll see your modules. We're going to be working in Module 2. So again, we'll double click in Module 2. And you don't have anything yet in there, but we're going to change that right now. The first thing we want to do is add a new doc. So you'll go here to New, and you'll go down to Google Docs and go ahead and click that. And this is just asking, since you shared the folder with me last week, do you...
So that's just a little example of the Google Docs lecture, and that goes right along with the Google Docs assignment, in which I let them know if they've been following along with me during the video, they'll have some of this done already, but I'll have them, it's a Word document, so they're centering and underlining the title, they're bolding a few words, and just trying a few of the different features that Google Docs has. And then since they've already put it in the Google Docs Module 2 folder, I will be able to see it and grade that. Then we go to Google Slides. And again, a video for creating the Google Slides, and then the actual assignment. They'll open a new Google slide. They'll make a 5-slide show using a template on your favorite Web 2.0 apps. I made these assignments so that they could learn how to use the Google Docs, but also some of the content would be applicable to teaching. So slide 1 will be an introduction, slide 2 through 4, they'll have to do one app, a description, a picture, and a working link, and then slide 5 would be the wrap up. And I just gave them some things that I wanted them to know. No white backgrounds with black writing will be accepted. It needs to use a template and have something that's pleasing to the eye. And I showed them just a little picture on how to use a template. The video also goes over that, but I wanted to give them a second thing. Back to our modules. Module 3 is Google Sheets. Google Sheets is kind of like Excel, and so they'll be able to create one, and they're going to go on a scavenger hunt. This is an assignment that I did when I taught technology, and I thought it was a really great way to give the basics of Excel if you weren't familiar with it. So how could a trainer use this spreadsheet application for training? Is the discussion, and again there's a click to launch, so that would take them to the discussion board. The lecture is again a downloadable one. It's one that I made for this class. And then the assignment, is to open a new Google Sheets and pretend you've been given $40 to Office Depot to help get your class started, and you have to come within $1 of that $40 in order to include it, including tax. So you're going to use formulas to help solve this problem. So headings centered and bolded, borders around the chart, they're going to make a graph, sheets renamed, formula for the item, total, subtotal, total purchase, and over $40. At least 5 different items purchased, a quantity of 2 on one of the items, and tax is 8.25. And they have to be within that $1. So I helped them in the lecture specifically go through the different formulas that they have to use and help them set up the assignment. So it's a really great way to learn some basic formulas for Google Sheets, and also just to understand the different features in Google Sheets. Okay, Module 4 is Google Collaboration. One of the great things about Google is that it allows teachers or any users to share documents with each other and allows them to edit and make suggestions about changes. This has been really great for this class in our groups that I've been in, to be able to work on an assignment at the same time, so that we don't have to continue sharing the same file back and forth. Everybody can work on it in the same time. So in Module 4, I'm asking the students, again, a discussion board, but I'm asking the students to share their document that they created at the very beginning in Module 2 with a classmate, and have that classmate make a comment, make an edit, and make a suggestion. 3 different ways that Google allows you to collaborate on an assignment. And then they're just making a copy of that and saving it in the folder. So this is a little group work to see about how Google Collaboration can help with learning Google Docs and how you could use it in the classroom. Module 5 is Google Sites. Google Sites is a website developing app. It is very straightforward and very simple, and I wanted the students to learn how to make a website. I know a lot of people have never made a website before, and this is a quick and easy way that you can make a website for your classroom. And so the discussion board is, how could a website help you with your training? So in here, they're making a website on the philosophy of teaching with technology. Again, you want to learn the app, but you also want to have something that you can use. And although this is a very small website, just 3 pages, I think that the students could use this after they leave the classroom, adding to it and making a website that maybe they could use in an interview. But the home page would be a philosophy of teaching with technology, and the second page is apps and programs that support this philosophy, so they can just list some apps and programs that they think go along with the philosophy. And then page 2, they're going to leave blank, because in Module 7 they're building a Google form, and that Google form will be embedded into this. Just like I had a Google form at the beginning of mine, they'll have one on their website. So they'll publish this. The basic setup will be saved in their folder, but they'll also have to submit the website name so that I can visit the website too. Okay, so Module 6 is Google Forms, and I think I said Module 7 back there, but it is Module 6. And Google Forms is just a survey or a quiz type tool that they could use. And it's pretty easy to build. You just enter the questions that you want, the answers, if it's multiple choice, or a blank if you want them to fill in something. And I wanted them to consider using this polling app for daily quizzes. Google Forms will grade things for you, so that's a big plus in this. So there's the lecture, and it again goes to a separate website.
Why not do it yourself? Go to Wix.com.
And there's another website, and this.
You need a website.
love those advertisements. But the first one is how to create the Google form, and the second one is how to embed it into a website. So that's a really important tool to use because they're going to embed that into their website that they created. And then this is the Google form that I want them to create. So it's just a 10-question form. The topic is useful tech apps, but how you use it is completely up to you. However they want to gather the information, whatever information they want to gather, they can do that. They're going to utilize 4 different questioning methods. There's quite a few different ways to do that. You can add a picture and a video. You're going to change the theme to make it more applicable. I think it just starts out with this basic purple. And then there's some settings that they need to fix so that we can gather the data. So that's the form. And then the last module, Module 7, is Google Keep. Google Keep is kind of like a note-taking device that is really great on your phone, not necessarily as great on your computer, but you can view it on your computer just as easily as you can view it on your phone, but adding the notes is a lot easier on the phone. So I did a screenshot video for this lecture of my phone, which is why it looks a little strange when you watch it. But it basically takes sticky notes of whatever you want and puts them on your phone in a arranged by date order. You can take a video, you can take a list if you want to make a list. Lots of different options for Google Keep. And so I made that lecture just showing you how to use Google Keep. And then the assignment is to take some notes on Google Keep and then figure out what you could use this in your classroom, or how you could use this in your classroom. So that's all 7 modules. But then they have a final portfolio at the end, and it's mostly finalizing assignments that they've done based on the feedback that they got from, or the feedback from the grade. But then there's also a few other little things to do, like fill out the Google form and make sure you have embedded the website, the form into the website. And so I think this covered a lot of what Google Drive will do for you in your classroom, and it was a lot of fun making it and getting to develop these ideas. So I hope you enjoyed it as well.